Hello everyone, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Keisha and today I'm going to be talking to you about my reading and content plans for the month of August. This year is quite literally flying by and it has been a very eventful year for me. I'm really excited to jump into August because it is going to be a busy month. I have a lot going on, not that I haven't already, but I have even more going on in August. I have a readathon that I'm co-hosting with some friends. I also have a really fun trip coming up that I'm going to share with you all. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into my reading plans and then I'll share a little bit more of my content plans. First, I wanted to share about the readathon that I'm co-hosting with some friends. So that is the Back to School Readathon, which will take place from August 25th through the 31st. The brainchild and the main host behind this readathon is my friend Gwen from Gwendolyn Kinsinger over on YouTube and Lavender Mud over on Instagram. Along with Gwen, myself and Jessie from Reading with Jess, as well as Liv from Liv's Library will be co-hosting. This is going to be a really fun, really immersive and epic readathon that is back to school themed. I'm completely obsessed with everything that Gwen has put together for it. If you happen to miss the announcement video for this readathon, I will link it down below in the description box so you can get all of the details. But we are going to have lots of fun reading prompts and activities and live shows, so definitely check that out. For the readathon, each reading prompt is divided into a school subject. So I'm going to go through the school subjects and let you know what I plan to read for each. So the first school subject is English, and the prompt is to read a book set in an academic setting. So for this one, I'm going to read a graphic novel that I heard about a couple months ago. It's called Els, and it's by Kid Toussaint or Toussaint. I'm not quite sure I'm pronouncing that correctly. This is a translated work, and I don't know much about it except that it's about this new girl who's going into a new school. She is a teenager, so I think this is probably YA. And when she's going into the new school, she's trying to make friends, but she didn't just bring herself along, she brought some other people with her. This is about a girl who has multiple personality disorder, and I'm really excited to jump into this and see how it's handled in this book. I find that topic really interesting to read about. Some of my favorite books involve that, and I really like the psychological aspect of that in books. So I'm really excited to check this out. It is going to be the first book in a series. The next prompt is math, to read a book with a number in the title. And for that one, I have a couple of different options. So my first option is going to be The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. For those of you who have been around on my channel for a while, you may know that The Dead Romantics was one of my favorite books of last year. So I've been really highly anticipating The 7-Year Slip. Since then, and since I've had some friends read this, I do know there may be a couple things in this book that I may not love, but I'm still willing to give this one a chance and hope that I love it as much as The Dead Romantics, but we shall see. All I know about this one is that it's about a girl named Clementine, and she has just moved into her aunt's apartment, and her aunt has always told her that the apartment has a little bit of a magical touch and it's kind of stuck in time. So when Clementine moves in, she finds that there is a man standing in the kitchen in her apartment. She has no idea where he came from or how he got in or anything else. So she finds out that he's actually not there in her time. He was there 7 years in the past, but they're kind of coexisting with these overlapping timelines. A lot of people have said this is a similar concept to The Lake House, which also prompts me to want to read, or not read, but watch the movie The Lake House with Sandra Bullock, because I remember that one as a child, but it has been years since I've seen it. So I'm really hopeful that I will get to this one, but if I'm not feeling in the mood for this one, I do have another book that I just recently picked up at the bookstore. Never heard of it before, but it sounds really cute. So it's called The One You're With by Lauren K. Denton. And the reason that I'm so drawn to this one, first of all, this is a Christian fiction, so it is going to be a pretty clean book. And I've never read anything from this author before, but the synopsis kind of reminded me, well, maybe not reminded me of, I'm hopeful that this will be like a Christian version of After I Do by Taylor Jenkins Reid, because I absolutely loved After I Do by Taylor Jenkins Reid, but I feel like this is kind of similar just from a married couple's perspective, where they are just kind of like, something happens that rocks the boat a little. So this follows high school sweethearts Mac and Edie Swan, and they lead a seemingly picture-perfect life in the sleepy, sweet community of Oak Hill near Mobile, Alabama. Edie is a respected interior designer, Mac is a beloved pediatrician, and they have 2 great kids and a historic home on tree-lined Linden Avenue. From the outside, the Swan family is the definition of the good life. And life is good, mostly, until a young woman walks into Mac's office one day. A young woman whose very existence threatens all Mac and Edie have built and all they think they know about each other. 19 years after a summer apart, with a family and established lives and careers, the past that Mac and Edie thought they left behind has come back to greet them. For the first time, constants in their lives are called into question. Their roles as parents, their reputation as upstanding members of the community, and the very foundations of their marriage. As they wade through the upheaval in both their family and professional lives, they must each examine choices they made long ago and chart a new course for their future. The next prompt is PE, and this is to read a book featuring an activity. This can be a physical activity, it can be an activity like a hobby or like baking or anything like that. So for this one, I'm going to read an advanced reader copy of The Secret of the Ravens by Joanna Cacao. So I got this on NetGalley and it comes out on November 7th. It is a middle grade graphic novel that is a Filipino inspired fantasy. It has been pitched as The Legend of Korra meets Netflix's The Dragon Prince, which I really enjoyed both of those. I do prefer Avatar: The Last Airbender to The Legend of Korra, but I still think both of those are good, and those elements, like, I think I would like that in this story. And so it says there are two homeless twins, Elliot and Liza, and they are hunting magical raven quests for money. But when a giant titan snake poisons Liza, Elliot will stop at nothing to save her life. So, sounds really interesting. I'm excited to have an advanced copy of this one, and I'm excited to check it out and share with you guys what I think about it. Next is Lunch, which is to read a book with a recipe. For that one, I've chosen Ghost a la Mode, A Ghost of Granny Apple's Mystery by Sue Ann Jafarian. I've had this for probably a year on my TBR now. It is a cozy mystery. I'm really intrigued by it, and I'm kind of getting into the fall mood. I'm still enjoying summer, but I'm definitely more wanting to transition into some more fall reads, and I feel like this is a perfect transitional book. It follows Granny, who is a famous for her, well, actually it doesn't follow Granny. It follows her granddaughter, maybe? We'll see. Okay, let me just tell you. Granny was famous for her award-winning apple pies and notorious for murdering her husband, Jacob, at their homestead in Julian, California. The only trouble is Granny was framed, then murdered. For more than 100 years, Granny's spirit has been searching for someone to help her see that justice is served, and she hits pay dirt when she pops in on a seance attended by her great-great-great-granddaughter, modern-day divorced mom Emma Whitecastle. Together, Emma and Granny Apples solve mysteries of the past, starting with Granny's own unjust murder rap in the final days of the California Gold Rush. And it has like a sprinkling of history in this, so that sounds really cool too. I will say that I forgot that the way that Granny came about was through a seance, so I'm not really thrilled about that, but hopefully it will just be a very small portion of this book and I can get through it, and I will definitely let you guys know how that works out. That is something I don't want to read much anymore. So I don't like the whole seance aspect of this, but maybe once Granny's in the picture, it'll be a cute and cozy mystery, and I'm really excited to check this one out. Then we have Science, to read a book with the sun, moon, or stars on the cover. For that one, I'm going to be reading another middle grade graphic novel. When you have a readathon with this many prompts, I feel like graphic novels are just a really good way to go to knock out some of those prompts. So this one does have stars on the cover and the night sky on this one. So I'm really excited to read this one, and I also love how the book is, like how you can flip it. So this is about Piper Pajaro and Sloane McBroot. They're two 13-year-old girls with very different lives but very similar secrets. Piper is popular, upbeat, and always willing to help her friends, whereas Sloane is a loner, sharp and snarky with zero friends and zero interest in having any. Piper is strong, like ripping the doors off cars strong. She longs to be a superhero and use her powers for good, but often leaves a massive mess in her wake. Sloane is smart, like evil genius level smart, but to provide for her mother, she has to put her intelligence to use, often in a not so good way. When a mission to steal an experimental technological device brings the two girls face to face with each other, the device sparks and the two girls switch bodies. Now they must live in each other's shoes as they figure out a way to switch back. So this is a DC graphic novel for kids. I have read a couple of these and enjoyed them, so I'm really excited for this one, and hopefully I will enjoy it too. The next prompt is Social Studies, to read a book with multiple timelines, and for this one I'm choosing the novella Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. I have been really anticipating this one. I've heard nothing but good things about it. I've also heard this quite possibly may make me sob. because it can be really sad. But this is about a coffee shop that people go to. They sit down and they can travel back in time, but they have to be back before their coffee gets cold. So I don't know if this is one person or multiple people traveling back in time to different times, but it just sounds really good. I know it's going to deal with grief, and I really tend to love books that deal with grief as long as they're dealt with in a way that I enjoy, because I don't enjoy every book I read about grief, but I feel like this might be a winner. The last reading prompt is art, which is to read a comic, graphic novel, or manga, which the Ravens book, the Elves book, or Antihero could all fit for that. So any one of those will fill that prompt for me. But I do want to mention another prompt because I just want to show you guys what movie I'm going to watch. So we do have a study hall prompt, which is to watch a movie set in a school. And I've never seen the movie Heathers before, which means I'm extremely excited that Gwen's Patreon movie watch for this readathon is going to be Heathers. Heathers won the vote. I'm so excited. I hope that I love it. I feel like it's a cult classic. I've just never seen it. If you want to watch Heathers, you are more than welcome to on your own, but if you want to join Gwen's Patreon, who again, she is the main host of this readathon, definitely check it out. She does all kinds of fun things over there. So she is hosting a Patreon exclusive movie night to watch Heathers. But if you don't want to watch Heathers or join her Patreon or anything like that, you can always watch just whatever school movie that you like, because there are plenty out there. All of the hosts have shared some ideas if you're interested, so check out our Instagrams if you're curious. All right, moving on to other things I'm going to read this month, which honestly, I'm not sure how much of this stuff I'm going to get read, so we shall see. But one of the content/reading plans I have is to read like my friend Jordan from Bookish Gem. So if you don't follow Jordan, she is one of the sweetest souls here on the internet. I am so, well, not even just on the internet, just in general. I have met Jordan in person. We met back in January. She is one of the kindest, sweetest, most empathetic people I've ever met. We are both Enneagram 4s. We are both Christians, and I just love the relationship we have together. The iron sharpens iron. Like, she is a wonderful Christian friend and somebody that challenges me and pushes me forward for, you know, just like in my relationship with God and in life. And I'm just so thankful for her. And I've never done a read like her video, so I decided that it was about time that I did. So I'm going to read, or try to read, 3 of her favorite books. This one I think is probably one of her least favorite of these 3, but it is one that she recommends a lot, and I got this recommendation from her. And that is These Hollow Vows by Lexi Ryan. This is the first in a young adult fantasy duology. I've heard that it is good for fans of ACOTAR, but it's a little less, a lot less steamy. There is a steamy scene in this, but toward the end, so I am prepared for that, but I am excited to check this out to see if I would like it. It says, Bree would do anything before making a deal with the Fae. Death is preferable to their vicious schemes, but when her sister is taken by the sadistic king of the Unseelie court, there's nothing Bree wouldn't do to get her back, including making a deal with the king himself to steal 3 magical relics from the rival Seelie court. Gaining unfettered access to the Seelie court is easier said than done. Bree's only choice is to pose as a potential bride for Prince Ronan, the Seelie prince, who's not quite as wicked as she once thought. Unwilling to let her heart distract her, she accepts help from a band of Unseelie misfits with their own secret agenda. But as Bree spends time with their mysterious leader, Finn, she finds herself struggling to resist his seductive charm. Caught between 2 dangerous courts, Bree must decide who to trust with her loyalty and with her heart. So we do have a little bit of a love triangle going on here as well. So that is my first book. The second book is A Voice in the Wind by Francine Rivers. This is the first book in the Mark of the Lion trilogy. This is a Christian fiction, kind of historical, biblical fiction book that I honestly don't know much about. All it says on the back here is, torn by her love for a handsome aristocrat, a young slave girl clings to her faith in the living God for deliverance from the forces of decadent Rome. So I have read Redeeming Love by Francine Rivers. It's been a few years, but I really love that book. I haven't read a lot of Christian fiction, but I am trying to incorporate some more of that back into my reading, and I'm really excited for this one. It does intimidate me because it's chunky, but I know I like Francine Rivers' writing, and I'm really excited to check this one out. Jordan has already told me to not tell her if I don't like any of these books because she doesn't want her heart broken, but there's going to be a whole vlog out there so you guys will know. But I'm excited to check this one out. This is also my grandmother, my nanny, her favorite series that she's read. She reads a lot of books, and I think it's hard for her to like pinpoint a favorite, but I know that she talks highly of the Mark of the Lion series, and this is actually her copy. So I'm going to read it, and hopefully I'll enjoy it too. And the last book that I'm going to be reading for my Read Like Jordan vlog is Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. I have been putting this one off for a little bit because I was reading ACOTAR, and I think it's time for me to switch over to this one. I think it's a young adult fantasy, and I'm hoping that I like this one, but Jordan seems to think that I will not like it, so I don't know. All I know, and I'm gonna go in blind. I know it follows an assassin, and that's it, but I feel like most people generally know what this series is about. I did buy like the new, this is like a really good book, like good quality book, but I bought the new covers because I really like them. I know some people don't, but I really like the way that they look, and if I like them, then if I like this one, I'm gonna get more. But we'll see if I like it. I'm not sure if I will, but hopefully it will be a win for me. I have a couple other books I'm gonna try to get to this month. I don't know if I will or not, but I am planning on doing a couple more reading sprints on my channel this month. You guys may have noticed that in previous months I have been doing, well, really over the summer, I've been doing weekly reading sprints. So in August, I think I'm gonna have 2 weeks where I do reading sprints. 1 week will be, it'll be August 15th, which is a Tuesday. I will be doing reading sprints that night. And the reason that I'm going to be doing reading sprints that night is because I'm doing a buddy read of The Temporary Roomie by Sarah Adams. And I'm going to be reading this with my friends Elizabeth from Ponytails and Paperback and Jordan from Bookish Jen. So the three of us will be doing reading sprints that night to start this book. I'm really excited for that. This is the second book in this series. The first one is The Off Limits Rule, which is my first Sarah Adams, and I absolutely loved it. It is one of my all-time favorite books, and this follows the brother in the first book, and I don't want to say who else, but it follows the brother. I'm not going to say much more about it, but it is a good, clean, funny, like closed door romance with lots of banter, and I just love the first one so much, so I'm really excited to jump into this one. Then I have 2 other books. I think one of these, like the one that I'm about to share now, will probably be the first book that I read in August. I'm really feeling like it, and I don't know. I'm scared because I'm scared I won't like it, but I've been really itching to read this one. So this is The House on Foster Hill by Jamie Jo Wright. This is, it says it's spellbinding and unputdownable, which is great. I need it to be. This is I think more suspenseful Christian fiction. So this is about like 2 different timelines, I believe. Yeah, so it's written in 2 different timelines, and it's spooky, I think. Maybe not spooky. Spooky's probably not the word. It's suspenseful, and I'm really excited for it because I'm hoping this can be like my Christian version of like Jennifer McMahon's books, because you guys know I love Jennifer McMahon. And I really love the atmosphere in her books, how spooky they are. I'm really hoping that Jamie Jo Wright can be this for me in like the Christian fiction realm. But this follows Kane Prescott, and she is no stranger to death. When her husband died 2 years ago, her pleas for further investigation into his suspicious demise fell on deaf ears. In desperate need of a fresh start, Kane purchases an old house, sight unseen, in her grandfather's Wisconsin hometown. But one look at the eerie abandoned house immediately leaves her questioning her rash decision. And when the house's dark history comes back with a vengeance, Kane is forced to face the terrifying realization that she has nowhere left to hide. A century earlier, so here's the jump in timeline, the house on Foster Hill holds nothing but painful memories for Ivy Thorpe. When an unidentified woman is found dead on the property, Ivy is compelled to discover her identity. Ivy's search leads her into dangerous waters, resurrecting painful memories and forcing a reunion with the man who broke her heart. Can Ivy unravel the mystery and find a renewed hope before any other lives, including her own, are lost? I really hope this is a good one. I really want Jamie Jo Wright to be an author that I love, so this is going to be my first trek into her work, and we shall see. And then the last book on my list, so you guys know I love the By the Book Mystery Series by Tamara Berry. It's a cozy mystery series. What you may not know is that Tamara Berry also writes under the name Lucy Gilmore. And I have this book called The Lonely Hearts Book Club, and it sounds like the bee's knees. Like the bee's knees, you guys. I really hope that this is a good one. So, I don't know, I'm just feeling drawn to this one. I love the cover of this one. So if I have a chance to pick it up this month, I'm gonna. So this follows Sloane Parker. She lives in a small town, she lives a small contained life as a librarian in her small contained town. She never thinks of herself as lonely, but still she looks forward to that time every day when old curmudgeon Arthur McLaughlin comes to browse the shelves and cheerfully insult her. Their sparring is such a highlight of Sloane's day that when Arthur doesn't show up one morning, she's instantly concerned. And then another day passes, and another. Anxious, Sloane tracks the old man down only to discover him all but bedridden, and desperately struggling to hide how happy he is to see her. Wanting to bring more cheer into Arthur's gloomy life, Sloane creates an impromptu book club. Slowly, the lonely misfits of their sleepy town begin to find one another, and in their book club, they find the joy of unlikely friendship. Because as it turns out, everyone has a special book in their heart and a reason to get lost and eventually found within the pages. I have no doubt this is going to be good if this is anything like Tamara Berry's other cozy mystery series, which I don't know, this isn't really a cozy mystery series, but it sounds really good and I'm really, really excited for it. So those are all of the books that I'm going to be hoping to read this month. I'm not sure if I'll actually get to all of them or not, but I am going to do my best. As far as content this month, like I said, I'm going to have a Read Like Jordan vlog. I'm going to be doing some stuff with the back to school readathon. I will be on Gwen's channel on, Friday, August 25th, which is the start of the back to school readathon at 7 p.m. to do reading sprints. I will be on Jesse's channel that Monday to do reading sprints. Wednesday, August 30th, we're going to have a Bookish Superlatives live show on Gwen's channel, tied in with the readathon as well. And so that is kind of the readathon stuff I'm going to be involved in. But as far as like my content and my videos that are coming, obviously you're seeing my August TBR. The video that's coming after this is going to be by, I don't know why I'm saying June. My July wrap up, I feel like I've always been a month behind. Every time I do these, I'm thinking about the previous month, but it will be my July wrap up. I do think I'm going to do another one of those favorite quotes in some of my favorite books video, like the book recommendation video that I did this past month, where I told you my favorite quotes from some of my favorite books in order to try to convince you to read them. I am going to do another one of those, but specifically with middle grade books, which I'm so excited about. So I'm going to do that. I'm also going to have a trip vlog coming up as well. I may or may not be meeting some besties. So I'm very excited because this will be my second trip this year to meet people. And so you guys will just have to hang around and see who it is. And the video will probably be up maybe mid-month, but I will let you guys know for sure. Keep an eye on my Instagram. I'll probably share more about it there as well. Other than that, I really don't know what's coming. Probably a book haul. I really don't know what else. So I'm kind of like hit or miss this month with my content because I have so much going on. But you can be sure that something will be there at some point. I am going to do reading sprints again. I said already with the buddy read, but also on August 24th, which is a Thursday, I'm going to be doing reading sprints that day. I do have a couple of friends down for that. Still trying to hear from others, but I'm very excited because I haven't hung out with some of these ladies in a while. So I'm going to be doing more sprints in August, just not every week because I'm busy. But that is going to be all for this video. Those are all of my reading and content plans. Let me know if you're excited that I'm reading any of these books. Let me know if you've read them, what you thought. Or if you don't know what else to say in the comments down below, go ahead and leave me a sunflower emoji because that always brings me so much joy. I hope that you guys have found joy in this video today. I hope that wherever you are, you're having a wonderful day or night. God bless you, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, friends.